Hey everyone, Patrick here, and I wanted to do a quick video with an answer to what seems like a simple question. It's a simple question I hear a lot. How do I leave voicemails that people will actually return? And I'm talking prospects. If you can't get your family to return your voicemails, I'm sure there's another video on that. So how do you leave voicemails that prospects return? Well, it seems like a simple question, but we actually wrote an entire ebook working with some sales experts on it. But I don't want to get into the details of this ebook. What I want to do is work through an equation we've been working on here to explain the variables and see if this simple equation can help you perfect your voicemails. So let's pull up that equation here. Now, I'm sure you're happy that it looks like this. I'll show you an early version of the equation. This is what I first was coming up with, and my business partner Aaron was basically like, whoa, way too complicated. How am I supposed to get anything from that? And at first my ego was bruised, but then I agreed. So we came up with this. So is this an exact formula? No, it is not. You can't plug in variables and get the same data point every single time. But it helps you understand the elements that we think go into a successful or failing voicemail. So callback equals value multiplied by timing multiplied by relevance over the length of the message plus number of calls to action. So this should give you a rough idea of where we see the weight of the various variables. And what I want to do is go through each one, explain our logic, and see with that understanding if you're able to help make your voicemails that much stronger. So the callback equals, well, value. What do I mean by value? I mean, what are you giving that person the moment they call you back? If you have a straightforward service, like, I don't know, IT service, maybe someone was having a problem right now, you can pitch your service. Sometimes we shy away from that, but if you have a really straightforward service and it's a timing game, try to pitch it, because that could provide people with value in that moment. If you have a more drawn-out buying process for what you're selling, for example, beep-directed voicemail, people aren't looking forward to getting a call about beep-directed voicemail, so we typically call with an offer that provides immediate value. Since most people aren't looking for directed voicemail, we talk about, would you like to cover the 4 keys to calling campaign success? That provides immediate value in that moment if they call us back, and eventually we can build trust, credibility, and get the deal. So you have to think, simple service, pitch it. Complicated, drawn-out service in terms of the buying process, well, maybe you should think of something that provides more immediate value for the person to call you back right now. Timing. Now, if you can trigger your voicemails to go out, and when I say voicemails, it's a habit. I mean to say calls, but 90% of calls go to voicemail, so I use them interchangeably. But if you can trigger that calling activity to be after a specific, events like a download, a site visit, a contract renewal date, whatever it might be, the timing can really help get callbacks because it means that you're more relevant. And of course, relevance not only has to do with timing, but it also has to do with the organizations and the titles you're reaching out to. If you're offering something for Fortune 500 companies and you're calling startups, you have zero relevance, and that's going to really affect this equation. On the flip side, if you're offering, say, I don't know, keys to greater profitability for technology companies, and you're reaching out to CFOs or chief operating officers of technology companies, well, you've got a couple points there in the relevance variable. Now, if we go on the bottom side of this equation here, length of message. By that I mean the shorter your voicemail, the more effective it will be, assuming you're able to pack that value and relevance within the script. So basically, the longer the message, the less effective. So you really want to work on tweaking the length of your voicemails to be as short as possible while providing the clear value and relevance. And then the number of calls to action. We see sometimes that people try to squeeze in a number of different items in their voicemail. I wanted to talk to you about this, and also we have this conference coming up, and by the way, did you get a chance to look at my demo? That's going to hurt your callbacks because you're making people think. The key to successful marketing and sales is minimize thinking, as funny as that may sound. So really focus on one call to action. Some people might say, well, I'm not sure if everyone I'm calling is going to find this call to action relevant. Well, that's the risk you take. As you experiment with different voicemail messages, you'll start finding the calls to action that have the greatest impact. And the people that don't respond to your first call to action, you're probably going to call them back in a couple weeks if you haven't heard anything, and there's your opportunity to try a different one. And there you have it. That's how we view the voicemail equation. A number of variables that all come together to get that callback rate higher. I hope that you find this helpful and that it improves your voicemail response rate. If it does, I would love to hear from you, whether it's by you subscribing and commenting on my channel, or find me on Twitter, Patrick R. Cahill, or shooting me an email. I'd just love to hear how this voicemail equation has helped you in your sales process.